We are at this gay bar on Thanksgiving Thursday night, which, if you don't know, is a busy night at gay bars because gays don't have nowhere to go. Full on boohoo,
weeping,
crying, sobbing, weeping at this bar,
like hugging, weeping, so sad. Honestly, so messy.
It's
like
so messy.
Just like deciding to stay there and cry, and it was like I think we were like, we need to go. Like we need to get out of here.
Monét Talks. Everybody come sit down, let's have a chat. Monét Talks. Living life gossip, chop it up, this or that. Monét Talks. Get comfortable with me, cause you on the show. We just wanna know where you been, who you been with. Monét Talks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fabulous and delicious episode of Monét Talks. Today, I am joined in studio, you saw by the titles, by my ex-boyfriend, Robert. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Am I good? I don't know if it's the edibles or the psychedelics, whatever, but my memory, honestly, is...
Yeah.
You smoke a lot of weed.
I do.
Is your memory bad?
It can be. Yeah, definitely at times. I'm on a break from weed right now.
Oh.
Which is crazy. So my memory is a little like hit or miss.
Got it. Yeah, I have a very, but also I had bad memory before, like, and also I didn't even say, I didn't even smoke that much weed, actually. I really don't. I'm more of a psychedelic mushroom type girl.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. But my memory is very foggy, which I say that at the top of this episode to say that a lot of these details of our relationship, I remember, but also like I don't remember. And even when, because we, full disclosure, we had a pre-lunch.
Yes, we did.
When I approached Robert about this episode, I was like, "Hey, would you come on my show and talk about our past relationship?" And he was like, "Yeah, but
let's have some lunch together."
Well, hold this closer because then they will. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's have some lunch together because it had been a few years since we talked.
Well, I mean, okay, we like
in person talk.
Yeah, in person talk because because on the Instagram and stuff like that, like a comment here, checking in,
saying gorgeous.
Yeah,
how are you?
I called it a thing, but like, oh bitch, that was fierce, and then that's it, but not in IRL.
Yeah, and that was so lovely.
Yeah, it was.
Sugarfish.
We went to Sugarfish.
Shout out.
Okay, I will say, like I've said before, I am not a sushi connoisseur. I am not a sushi snob. I don't know gas station sushi from Nobu, whatever. So how Sugarfish ranks for me on the...
Yeah, I'm curious.
I would say it was like giving me like, on a scale of, if 0 is gas station. And what's the best? Like what? Kazunori? Right? Isn't that a fierce one?
Kazunori, sister of Sugarfish. What was the one you said?
Nobu.
Nobu's
like top tier.
Okay.
So from a scale of 0 to 10, I would give Sugarfish maybe like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rice was kind of flopping.
The rice wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
So my main purpose in this episode, because there are obviously a lot of people out there who have dated people and have gone through breakups. And I think old, young, mid-20s, younger me, when I conceptualize what a breakup is, I'm like, ugh, after a breakup, I hate that person. I don't ever want to see them. They should be dead to me. To quote Nancy from Kraft, you don't even exist to me. Like, I thought it was that. But as I've matured, and I think our relationship has taught me that it does not need to be that way.
No.
Right? There is no reason that a relationship has to end like that. Now, again, there are some things, and sure, you need like breaks and not talking to people, but I think as I'm getting older, and I mean, I don't know what, if me and my boyfriend break up that, I don't know if I will have that same outlook. But I think in my mind, I wanted to show people that you can like break up with someone and you can be left in a place where you can be friends if that is the mission at hand.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that was kind of like, fortunately, our experience. Yeah. You know, coming back together, talking, being friends, like not having animosity, which I'm so grateful for. Yeah.
I mean, again, I think that in the journey of getting to this place, there was some anger, there was some animosity.
Sure.
But I think that we landed at a place where we can be friends and not be weird.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. So I want to chronicle our meeting.
Yeah.
Because, I have a one-woman show that I kind of talk about our relationship a little bit.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you don't know this?
No.
I do a little bit. I don't say your name. I change names and stuff.
Okay.
Well, I talk about like 3 different relationships in my life.
Okay.
And I talk about ours a little bit in there. But so the year.
Oh my God. Love.
The year was 2018.
Uh-huh.
And I was on tour in Sacramento.
Yes.
Doing a tour in Northern California.
Yeah, for season 10.
For season 10. Yeah, it wasn't All Stars yet. It was season 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm in this club at Badlands.
Dressed as Maya Angelou.
Was I Maya Angelou?
Yes. Yes, you were.
I was not.
Yes, you were.
You know Maya Angelou was cute, girl. What?
Yeah.
Yellow dashiki with the gray hair.
Yes.
Robert.
Yeah, specifically called out like anyone in here into drag queens dressed as Maya Angelou. And I said, absolutely. Me. 100%.
Also, because you're sitting down, people can tell. You're what? You're 6'5". Robert is very tall.
Poking up out of the crowd.
Literally, so it's like this sea of like average people, and you were just like tall dude, and like
big hoops.
It was you had very big hoops. So you're
painting the picture.
As we get older, like our styles change and evolve. But back then, I'll say you were super like alternative. Like you had like these like thick, bushy brows,
dark eyebrows,
these like big hoop earrings, and you had like I think you had on a Scully, but rolled down.
Yeah, that was my vibe.
That was your vibe
for like all of 2018.
And then so I want to say that I see this guy, and I'm like, oh my God, who's this 6'5" person? Like you're tall, and then I like called you on the thing.
Yeah,
and then I think I said like, hit me from Grindr or something like that. And then I disappear into the thing.
Yeah.
And you did. Now, this is the part you don't know. When you had hit me up on Grindr, I had blocked you. Because I was like, yes, I'm really into this guy. But like, I don't know if I really want to hook. I had to leave early the next morning. So I like blocked your profile immediately when you hit me up.
Oh my God.
I blocked your profile.
Blocked my profile.
I blocked it because I was really into you, but I was like, this is going to be a commitment tonight.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning already.
Right. And then I messaged you on Instagram.
The next morning.
Lost, I'm sure, in all of the hidden messages.
Yes, and the next morning, I just happened to go through. I just happened to go through my request that day. I was going through, and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy from Grindr. And then I hit you up on there, and then we started talking.
Yeah.
And I will say we got really hot and heavy really quick.
I would agree.
It was very passionate very soon.
Yeah. Very, very sweet, very passionate, very like emotions forward. Both water signs.
Yeah, you're Cancer.
Yeah, Cancer, Sun, and Moon.
Really?
Pisces rising.
Oh shit, you're Pisces, right? So you're all water.
All water.
And all emotion.
Yeah.
Bob is a Cancer. Bob is very emotional.
Yeah. Emotions can be messy, They can. On my behalf, I'll say that. And you're Pisces.
I'm Pisces. I don't know what my rising am. I think
that's okay.
I vaguely remember, and I always say the wrong thing, and I listen because I had Delon on the show. And we were talking about signs, and then I watched it back, and I was like, oh wait, I said that wrong. But I know I'm a Pisces.
Yeah.
But rising and setting, and I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Rising and moon.
Rising moon. Sorry, it was setting.
Rising and setting.
So I'm like a idiot. And you were also remember you were very beat. You were like you still are really big into makeup.
Yeah, still have a little light beat on today,
Yeah, but you were a glam.
Yeah, it was definitely, especially the eyebrows were dark and sharp.
Yeah, very sharp. And then so we started this relationship, and we
started FaceTiming.
Started FaceTiming all. It became phone calls, and it became FaceTiming all the time.
And then a little break in time.
Why was there a break?
A family barbecue? Perhaps?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The break.
Yeah.
So we start, and like, when I tell you, we're like in it. We're like FaceTiming like for hours a day, talking on the phone a lot, like for hours on end. And then I had to leave to go film All Stars 4. And then I couldn't say why, because, NDAs and RuPaul and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I had to go away to a family barbecue for a few weeks.
I was like, okay, got it.
Which is kind of a through line because that kind of happened with me and my current boyfriend. Like we met up we exchanged stuff on Hinge. And then like, this is a week before I left for All-Star 7. So I was like, hey, BTW, I won't have my phone for 6 weeks because I'm going away on a tour and I can't have my phone. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
So it was like kind of weird. I had to break it. Anyway, so yeah, so then we have this break and then I come back. So as soon as I get back from the break, I hit you up and I was like, hey, I'm like free now. And I fly to Sacramento. And that's when we have like, since the meeting in Sacramento, like at Badlands, that was the first time seeing each other again.
Yeah.
It was like full throttle.
Very much so. Riding bikes around Sac.
My God.
I like made spaghetti and brought it to your room and just like trying to court you in like the way that I knew how, you know?
Oh yeah, because listen,
little like 24-year-old me was like, 24. I'm going to make you some spaghetti. I'm going to bring it to your room.
You were 24 and I was 28. Yeah, but
sweet.
Yeah, but I thought it was all very sweet. It was it felt very genuine and very like
it was
very lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like had those like they weren't Lime bicycles. There was some type of bike.
Electric bicycle. We're like riding it around.
Yeah, Sacramento.
I'll always remember that.
Oh my God, the spaghetti. I forgot about the You said spaghetti. I was like, oh yeah, you made me spaghetti.
I did. And you did have some. I don't know if you liked it, but you know. I
don't remember if I liked it or not, but I will say like, I normally don't eat other people's food. So the fact that I even ate, I was like, oh, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And then, so I feel like shortly after that trip to Sacramento, did we become boyfriends right after that? I don't remember. This is what I started breaking down the timeline.
I feel like after that was like, okay, like I'm into you. I feel like we were already talking on that level.
Yeah.
And then I think seeing each other was that. And then I think I saw you one more time while I was still on 2 feet.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
In San Francisco. No, that was... I think I was already...
No, in San Francisco, because remember, you drove me down. There was one time you drove me down to Los Angeles from Sacramento. I like flew into Sacramento, and we drove down from Sacramento down to LA.
Yeah.
So there was that. And there's also the time when we drove to San Francisco, or we met in San Francisco.
I picked you up at the airport in San Francisco.
And that was a very, again, these very grand romantic gestures. And then so that was also the trip when you like put me onto SZA. Like you were in your car and you were like, this artist, his name is SZA, like we should like listen to it. I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. And it was Control.
Yeah.
And I was like,
here I am like singing every word. You literally driving around.
Into it. And I was like, he's running to the SZA girl, like whatever. And then like the more we listened, I was like, yo, she's dope.
Yeah.
And that's like, so I attribute my love for SZA to you.
I mean, how could you not be obsessed?
Obsessed.
She's the best.
Easily.
To this day.
And the album came out in 2017, so it was like a year later work. So you put me onto that. So then we start, and then again, y'all, we're really intense, really hard, calling all the time, always on FaceTime. I'm like traveling and stuff. I'm calling him at like 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm like leaving things. So can you talk about the dating and because we're in this long distance relationship and I'm traveling a lot for work.
Yeah.
And then, so how was that to you? Were you like, how was dating someone who was always doing this for you? Like, what was your experience with that?
Oh, my experience with that was interesting because like, obviously loved you, was like so excited, but was also like, to contrast my life at the time at 24, I had just moved home from LA. That didn't work out. Because you had lived in LA. I had lived in LA for 9 months. Crash landed back at home.
Yeah.
Months later, met you, and it was wonderful. I was like so excited, but then also on another hand, it was interesting because like the contrast of the life you're living, the life I'm living. Obviously knew that when I met you. Yeah. But the experience of that is different. Yeah. You know? So it was like, it was a mixed bag. It was like so exciting to feel so connected to someone on like an emotional level and like close and comfortable. Yeah. And then also so like frustrating to like not be able to see you or like not be able to hang out. Yeah. But at the same time, like completely understood it.
Yeah. And I think for me also, because like, I mean, you had been in a serious relationship before.
Mm-hmm.
You were my like first like serious relationship.
A serious relationship that was like pretty tumultuous, you know? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
You were like my first like dive into like actually like dating someone, like calling my boyfriend. Again, I had this pattern of dating a lot of unavailable DL dudes in New York and dating, right? Like they still had girlfriends, wives, whatever. They weren't gay. But you were like my first like gay, serious, like we're boyfriends, like relationship. And like, so like, I think for me in all of that.
Yeah, what was that like?
I think for me in all my traveling and stuff, I was like, I'm willing to like do all of this hard work and like mill through all the discomforts of this long distance thing. Even though even back then, like fundamentally, I don't think I believed in long distance relationships. I was like, long distance relationships are not a thing. And I think that's something I still believe in. But I was like, I'm willing to work through all of that and the stress of always like coming and going, whatever, because like this was my first dive into like into what love like really like looked like to me, because I did feel really loved by you. I felt that from you, but I was like, this is so hard. The traveling thing was so hard.
It was hard, especially for me at the time. I wasn't able to reciprocate the travel.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be like, I'm going to fly out there and just come see your show and take a break. It was like, I was so figuring myself out and figuring out my life that it was like, okay, like come see me, you know, like it was very that, which was lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
but hard.
It was very hard.
Yeah.
And then September, so the end of August comes around.
Oh my God.
End of August comes around.
We're fully on the phone.
We're fully on the phone. Were we on the phone when it happened?
No, I was in the middle of doing highlights at a hair salon, and you and I
tell everyone your trade. You were
a hairdresser.
A hairdresser, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of doing highlights, and I step outside. I'm like getting sleepy. It's midday. I'm like telling my client, I'm going to go get us some coffee. And I get on the phone with you and I'm calling you and we're talking about like, oh, come out here and meet up with us. And we'll just have like a day together. And like, let's nail down the dates of this flight. Like, I got to go. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go buy the coffee. I'm walking back to the salon. Oof, so traumatic. I'm like not in a crosswalk, and I go to cross the street and all the cars are sitting at a red light. And so I think like, oh, I'll just dart through these cars really quick.
Yeah.
Get to the last lane to cross the road and fully got hit by a car. Broke my ankle.
Broke his ankle.
Yeah. And my leg. And I
remember you calling me. You called me like right after it happened.
So dramatic.
But you not so dramatic. You broke your leg.
I broke my leg. I fully called you. I called my mom. I called the salon. Like on the last little stitches of battery I had laid out on the hot pavement as I'm about to get into an ambulance. And I'm like, I just got hit by a car. I'm on my way to the hospital.
I was like, wait, what? So, and I think I don't know if I had your mom's number at that point. Yeah. I remember communicating with her in some way.
No, you didn't. You fully told me that you went to my Instagram, found my sister. Messaged my sister and got the number, and you flew out to see me in the hospital.
Yes, because I was like,
girl, still to this day, like the sweetest thing anyone has ever done.
I was like, my man broke his leg. I gotta go see my man, honey.
Yeah,
I think I like canceled a gig or something. I
think to me that is when like our relationship felt very serious.
Yes,
like that gesture was so insane.
Yeah. And I flew out to come see this and you were like legit. I was like, I don't think I've ever visited someone in the hospital before. Like I've never had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I've never been to the hospital for anything.
Yeah. Very traumatic. Very wild.
I walk in and I'm like, do I bring flowers or do I just whatever? And I come and you're like, and I come and I see you on this bed, your leg is up. And I was like, yo, he like broke his leg like for real. Like he is like in the hospital, like legit. And then so you have that happen. And again, I agree with you. I think at that point in our relationship, I was like, okay, I really love this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, because I cannot, I felt like, not I broke my leg, but I felt like my heart was with you, that you had like hurt yourself that bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
So that happened. And then I left because I had to go back. But then,
you fully flew in, came to the hospital, rode with me and my mom to take me home. dropped me off at my friend Kim's house.
Yeah.
And then immediately, I think my mom drove you back to the airport.
Yeah.
And I just stayed put.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, Linda. She says hi, by the way.
I love Linda. Your mom is so sweet. The sweetest lady ever.
Very, very sweet.
Oh, love your mom. So,
I mean, talk about like a grand gesture, like you coming out for literally like less than 12 hours to come be with me. It was like, again, so sweet.
I was like, my man, he broke his leg. I see my man. And then so now, and then so we continue our relationship, and you know, and I saw how hard that was for you again. So like, because you couldn't work, you couldn't do anything, and you were like laid the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then so DragCon rolls around.
Oh my God, DragCon New York.
DragCon New York 2008.
Yeah.
And then you're feeling better, and I'm like, you got to come to DragCon. And you're like, yeah, I want to come to DragCon. So I fly you out to New York to come to
what month was that?
That was September.
Okay. No, DragCon New York was not September.
Yeah, DragCon New York is September. DragCon is September in New York.
I fully got hit by a car at the beginning of the month and then flew out to DragCon New York.
Was it? I mean,
or was it August that I got hit?
I think you got hit in August.
Yeah.
The DragCon was definitely in September, for sure.
Work.
Yeah, I think I hit in August.
Yeah. Flew out, got wheelchaired through the airport.
Girl.
Wheelchaired through the second airport. Wild.
Yeah, and then so, but again, you didn't. I wanted you to come, and you're gonna come, so bring you there. And then DragCon is such a crazy time. It is so much going on with like merch, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot. And then the layer of you, I'm not gonna lie, the layer of you in the wheelchair was a lot.
Yeah.
Everything. It always drove me a little crazy. It's a lot. And then because I also like wanted like my friends to meet you and stuff. So Bob, Mateo, everyone, we're like, I think we had lunch or something at Jacob's Pickle or something like that. The day before DragCon, after.
Wheeled around New
York in my thing, which I was in love. I was devoted.
You really were. I honestly felt like just the biggest like broken foot ass bitch just being wheeled around New York. What the hell was that? Here I am just trying to be like, hi, everyone. Like, nice to meet you.
Yeah, we even went out to some shows. We went to like Pixie Aventura show on a Tuesday night. And then we went to, I was like wheeling you around Hill's Kitchen.
I remember, and she thought I got hit in New York. And she's like, bitch, you're an honorary New Yorker. I was like.
And Bob had the joke. He was like, damn. Because Monét was. And that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So stupid. And then so then now it's like, so we're at the actual convention, and like Patty and I are like having to like wheel you around the convention. It was like a whole thing. And also I live in a walk-up apartment in New York. There was no elevator in my building.
I know. So I'm crab crawling up the stairs.
In the Bronx.
Yeah. In the middle of the night.
Did I just lift the wheelchair up this? I had to have.
Yeah, you carried my wheelchair, and I fully, with one leg propped up in the air, crab crawled with the other leg and my two arms up the stairs.
Man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Hey, what you won't do for love, honey.
You know. And then fast forward to, and then you go back home, and you're like getting stuff together. And then, so now it's like, and then I go away on my solo, on my Call Me by Monét tour in the UK. I mean, I think Australia and the UK. Something like
that. I remember the big thing about being in New York was that this was like, we had to make this happen because I wasn't going to see you for
like a month.
A long time.
Yes.
Like a whole month. I actually think it was longer than a month.
It was more than a month. It was like a month and some change.
Yeah. All of October and then into November.
Yeah, going into November. Yeah. It was like 6 weeks or something like that. So like that's right. That's why we made DragCon work. Because I like, if you don't come to New York, I won't see you for like way too long.
Yeah.
And then so then this is when, so as I'm on this tour, that's when to me it got really tough.
It got really tough.
Like that distance was so, and also you're in California. I think the time difference was crazy.
The time difference was crazy because like I would wake up or whatever, we would like wait to hear each other. It'd be like, oh, I'm busy doing the show, and there would just be a lot of misconnections of like time to talk.
It was like, because it was literally like a 9-hour time difference. So it was like crazy.
Yeah. I'm in like the final stages of healing. You're fully working your ass off, like slaying and succeeding and being gorgeous. And kind of like this is also preceding All Stars like 4 about to come out
in December 5th.
So you are like hitting it hard.
Yeah.
And killing it.
Yeah.
And that I think was like like you're saying, beginning of like us sort of missing the connections.
Yeah, missing the connections, yeah.
You know, it was like fun and games and really sweet. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're like really going days. And then when we would talk, it was like our experiences were so contrasted.
So different.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I think you and I so sweetly were very like emotionally like still trying to like really go there and connect and
trying so hard,
trying really hard.
But that was hard, and I think that also, and again, part of it that you probably that I never really expressed to you because like being vulnerable, or whatever. But I think also for me, like I started feeling like super insecure too because like you like hang out with like these friends and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, who's that person hanging out with? And I was feeling, and again, and I was like, you know what? It's not his fault. Like I'm not around, and like he wants to like feel a connection with people. And again, you didn't do anything, but it was just like my insecurities about like, well, I'm not there. He's probably doing this. And I should have also just expressed that to you. But I was like, 28 and also immature, just like, not feeling that I could have been in a place to like really say that out loud.
Well, I think I also was feeling those insecurities, and feeling like, okay, here you are, like fully on top of the world, wherever, whenever, fully mobile, and here I am like laid up, just like, trying to like scoop my little boot when I was like able to walk again and hang out with people. And then it would be like, I'm hanging out with these people. Like I can't really talk right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was like that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of tough.
Yes. And then so, oh my God, I never did this either. So they have, there's a song by her, H.E.R.
Oh my God, that song.
Yes. Well, 2 parts about that song. There was one, what's the name of the song? Focus. Focus became like our like song.
Very much so.
Focus by her was like our song. We discovered this. I think we discovered this on the SZA trip. Like, it came up on like, artists, whatever.
Here I am showing you like all these songs and you're like, I need to play you this song. Or you sent it to me and I was like, oh my God.
Yes, it was just Focus. I sent it to you and I was like, this song really like, so it was like our thing.
Yeah.
And then, but when I was on this UK tour, I was like, the song I'm Not Okay by her came on the thing. And it's like her talking about like being away and can't spend time with her boyfriend. And I would legitimately play that song, Robert, and like cry. And I was like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Because I was feeling this disconnection, and I was like, something was starting to feel weird. And it's like come back from this thing, and then you're like, hey, you should. Oh no, we were planning for me to come for Thanksgiving. That was gonna be our big reunion.
Are we here already?
I think we are.
No way. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we planned for you to come out to Sacramento for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I think this is going to be then our first time seeing each other
since DragCon.
And now that I'm out of like a boot, I'm on my feet. We're like, it's projected to be us being so like excited and close. And like, there's not this physical hindrance in the way of us connecting.
Yeah.
And so then you flew out to Sacramento for Thanksgiving with my family. At my sister's house.
I was meeting. This is my first time meeting so many white people at one time. I was like, this is my first white Thanksgiving. And also I want to say this, like every time I had flown in before that, right, to like Sacramento or whatever, like Robert and I would always have these like happy tears. We were very tearful.
Very tearful.
Always crying.
Water, baby.
Water.
Yeah.
So then I will never forget, I flew in, and he would always pick me up from the airport too. So I flew in to...
Insisting on the airport.
Which was very sweet.
Fro.
It was very sweet.
Okay, good.
You always insist on that. And then so I fly into Sacramento for this Thanksgiving, and I remember it, we like these happy tears that we would cry every time I flew in Sacramento. This time, we did not have happy tears. I was like...
Yeah. seeing each other.
Yes.
When you got in the car, it was like a rainy day.
Yes.
We're driving.
To get breakfast at that place.
Yeah. Wait.
We got breakfast at this spot.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of it, though.
Okay, so I picked you up, and there was just a thickness in the air.
It was a thickness. Yeah. It wasn't like the ease of conversation that we normally would have. Like, it wasn't labor, but it just did not feel like how it always had felt before.
Yeah.
Especially after being just, apart for so long.
Being apart for so long, having kind of missed connections on the phone, having super contrasted experiences. I feel like when you did come get in my car, I remember that distinctly. It was very like, I was having nerves.
Same. Same.
Yeah. And therefore, like, I think we both like empathic, like feeding off each other's nerves in a major way.
For sure.
Yeah.
So then the plan was we would spend one night at your mom's house.
Oh, brother.
And then the second night at a hotel.
We should have just stayed at a hotel the whole time. Really? I don't know. I just feel like we really should not have been in my mom's house, like in my bedroom. So lame. Like,
you were 24 years old.
I know. Hindsight is 2020 though.
Yeah.
Would never do that again. Would never be like, come stay at my mom's in my room that I'm still living in, like, messy. But I was like, I really want you to like be around my family and like, And
it was very sweet.
Yeah. That was sweet.
It was. Did I meet your grandmother?
You did. You met my nanny.
Yeah, nanny. Yeah, I met her.
Yeah. I think you met her at my sister's, or maybe you met her at my mom's. I'm not sure.
I don't remember either, yeah.
Yeah, but we had Thanksgiving at my sister's. I do remember that in Sacramento.
Yeah. And then so we go down.
That was kind of sweet, I think.
It was sweet.
Zolly and Lewin, my nephew.
Your niece and nephew was just so, they were so sweet. And I remember all sitting around this like big table in your sister's place. And then something that I had never done. I was like, oh, white people be doing this. Y'all all went around the table and said, like, what you're grateful for.
Yeah, what we're thankful for.
What you're thankful for.
Yeah.
And your mom made the sweetest thing about that she's so thankful for us being each other's life and me coming into your life and being here. And I was like, me too, I love you so much.
I know.
It was like so sweet.
I feel like we were beginning the waterworks at the table.
Yeah.
The little drip, some tears. Yeah, that was very, very sweet.
It was very sweet. I was like, oh my God, that is so literally the sweetest thing. And then so after we leave dinner, we go to the hotel and we're like, let's like go out to, what's that bar? Faces?
We went to the Merc.
The Merc.
The infamous Merc, which, by the way, we had met at a couple times throughout.
We did?
Like, visiting in Sacramento. You had come there before. We'd had like nice time. It was like, it's like the strongest pour in Sacramento.
Got it.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it.
Okay. Well, good. Maybe that's good. I don't know.
Robert.
Yeah.
That's why. So we go to the Merc.
We go to the Merc.
And then so we're at this bar. And again, like throughout all of this, there was always a little bit of thickness that I was feeling in our energy. Like energies were just like not.
Energies weren't like matching up.
Yeah.
We weren't just like clicking, having fun,
like
enjoying.
We always had.
Yeah. And I feel like the going to the Merc was like, okay, like, let's talk. And I think you asked me like, are you ready? Like, would you be ready to like move to New York?
Yeah.
Because we had previously talked a lot about moving to New York.
I forgot about something
on the phone. I felt like that was something that we really were like, if we're going to make this work, like the long distance is too crazy. Yeah. And then we got to the Merc and you were like, are you really ready to move to New York?
Which honestly is a crazy thing that we were even talking about. Like you were 24 and like,
that was also first loves are crazy.
It is. They are.
They're crazy.
And then but that was also a big part of why we were like, oh, come to New York for DragCon so you can even get a vibe of the city because the plan was, and when the new year came around, we were like, do plans, like actually like you come to New York.
Yeah.
Rewind a little bit. I was also feeling insecurity because I was like, I feel like this motherfucker is in love with his ex-boyfriend. I did. I was like, I am feeling the ex-boyfriend because you and your ex-boyfriend were friends.
We were friends, and part of when I was healing, like from my accident, he had come up to Sacramento to take care of me as well.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, I need you to leave the room. I'm calling my boyfriend. I'm calling Kevin. Like, I just need you to step aside.
Yeah.
Very, very messy, I guess, of me to like have that situation. And I will tell you that it was never that I was in love. It's that I was still very hurt.
Got it. From y'all's past relationship.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because it had ended pretty freshly before I had the opportunity to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you meet someone like you and you can't help but like take that ride. I mean, your joy, your energy, your art, your everything was like so magnetizing that I was like, you know what? I had never really been heartbroken before. And I was like, this is how you move on.
Yeah.
You just move on. And it's like, I think as far as we kept going and the idea of moving to New York, I was like, I'm still hurting.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like torn.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a feeling that you had that was creeping up, that was part of our dialogue. I feel like while you were away, loving this like backtracking to the details.
I know.
You get right to the moment and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm remembering the details. Yeah.
So we're like at this Merc and we're like having cocktails and stuff like that. And I just like
sitting in a little corner.
Sitting in the corner. And like I say to you, I'm like, I don't like, do you really want to move to New York? I don't think I have plans or ever like really wanted to come to New York with me.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't think that I'm ready. And I was like, you know, kind of circling around a square. Like I was just like, I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I've closed the chapter on like whatever I'm dealing with here. So the idea of moving to New York and getting swept up into something new felt very like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? I'm like not closing a chapter. I'm not closing a circle, which like, you know, some could argue I should have figured that out way earlier on in our connection. But I think as things get serious in relationships, you really start to evaluate like the truth of where you are. Also, the trauma of getting hit by a car, getting a little lost in the sauce of that, and then coming to and getting back on my feet, I was like, oh my God, like I'm such a mess right now. Like, I can't move to New York. Like all of a sudden became very clear to me. And so I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready to move to New York.
And that I'm not ready to move to New York. Like we both understood what that meant for us. Like we didn't say like, we're over, we're not boyfriends anymore. We're like, that I'm not ready to move to New York. To both of us meant then I'm not ready for this relationship to go on anymore.
And then there we were, sobbing our eyes out at this bar.
When I tell y'all, we are not exaggerating. We are at this gay bar on Thanksgiving Thursday night, which if you don't know is a busy night at gay bars because gays don't have nowhere to go. Full on boo-hoo,
weeping,
crying, sobbing, weeping at this bar.
Like hugging, weeping, so sad.
Yeah. I'm trying to like...
Honestly, so messy. Like, just like deciding to stay there and cry. And it was like, I think we were like, we need to go. Like, you need to get out of here. Yeah.
I'm wondering what's so
I wasn't ready to say goodbye, though. It was like, you know, but it was obvious that this was happening.
Yeah. And to me, it was like, you know, because it was like, because that moment meant like this past, 6 months that we were kind of been courting and dating and becoming work friends, like it was actually all really over.
Yeah.
And it was so gut-wrenching to me because, you know, for all intents and purposes, like I really had thought, or I saw you as someone that was going to be like my love forever, someone that would like really grow in this thing. And like, we'd figured out the age difference would be something, but like, we'd figure like your leg was good now. We were going to move to New York and we were going to be like this like thing.
Yeah.
So in that moment in that bar, I was like, I'm not ready to say goodbye yet because it just means that this is all like really done.
Yeah.
And it was so painful.
Yeah. And it's like whether or not the vibes were awkward on that trip, I felt like that isn't necessarily enough to be like, oh, something's over.
Yeah.
I think it was just like, yeah, that conversation was shedding some major light on why we were feeling awkward, you know, just the leading up to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was definitely kind of crazy how that happened so quickly.
Oh, girl.
You know, very quick. And a lot of emotions closing out like that can just feel very bizarre.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, like the why was just that you know, looking at where you were and where you were about to be, knowing that like, I mean, when did All Stars 4
December
premiere?
like 8th or something like that.
Very shortly after.
Yeah. No, it aired. Yeah, it aired then. Yeah.
And the day after Thanksgiving, I feel like you were about to fly out to the Cayman Islands.
Yes. this. You don't know about a lot of this. So we go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah. Let me not skip ahead.
You come with me. We go back to the hotel.
Yeah, I was like, I need to come with you. I wasn't like, yeah, let's just break up. Like, let me go. Let you have your space. It was like, I need to come. I need to come and be there with you.
So we're in his hotel room. And like, I wanted to say, no, leave. But I also, again, I wasn't ready to fully let go of the thing.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we sleep on this. Do we cuddle? Do we like?
We fully laid there and just like looked at each other and we're crying. I don't feel like we were like cuddling. We were just laying on this bed, like in the dark, like looking at each other.
And then the next morning, because I had an early flight. I had like a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay,
I ended up sleeping on like the little thing at like the foot of the bed because I was like, I don't want to be inappropriate. Like,
yeah. And then so we get, so now I was going to go to the airport. You're like, no, let me take you to the airport. And I was like, fine. And then we're driving to the airport.
You're like, I can get an Uber. I can get an Uber. It's fine. I was like, no, I need to take you.
And then now we're in this car. I don't remember tell me if I'm making this up. Did Focus play on our way to the airport?
It might have. I don't know. I don't remember, but it very well could have because it was certainly circulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember looking, because you're on this side, I'm in the passenger seat. I remember looking at this window in like the 4 a.m. of it all, trying so hard to like hold the tears. It is so hard.
I know.
But I am fighting tears.
Fully.
I'm like, but it's still like still crying. And then we get to the airport and we say goodbye and I get on this plane. I had to like go to like the airport gift shop to like buy some sunglasses because my eyes were like bloodshot red. Fully. Just sobbing the entire time.
I'm fully crying driving away. Like, just like, what the hell? Who the hell am I, girl? What did I do? And
I meet Patty in at Miami because we had to transfer Miami to go to Cayman Islands.
Okay.
And I'm on the Cayman Islands, girl. And I'm going to tell you, full on Sex in the City 1 moment. I'm like, Patty, please just close all the windows. Like, shut up. Literally. God, he's like, girl, what's going on? I was like, I don't want to talk about it. Just shut all the windows. He's like, you want any food? No. I was starving. I was so hungry.
Like, I need to eat, actually. Yes,
but I was like, no, I don't want anything. And then here I am in this beautiful Cayman Islands for like 3 days for this like gig. And I was you know, healing from a breakup.
Healing and hurt. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough also there in the fallout, I feel like, of trying to be like, are you okay? Like over text, like wanting to check in, but also not want, it's like, here we've decided to break up, like try not to like hit someone up so much. Yeah. There is that impulse though, when you break up with someone to be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, did we unfollow each other? I don't remember. I think I don't
think so.
I don't think so, right?
No.
No, but there's one, we did follow each other again. So we did unfollow.
Okay, then we did.
We did.
It must have been a little while
afterwards. Yeah. Okay, so in my mind, after breakup, I think here's the stages I went through. I was grieving our breakup. I was sad. And I was also really upset because I was like, I feel like this all happened because he wants to be this ex-boyfriend and he used this as a vehicle to say so. And so I think that was where the anger for me was coming in.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Even though still communicating because I still wanted to talk to you, but I didn't. And I find myself like just trying to like look through your Instagram and see where you're at and
see what was going on.
Like, but also not. And I think when I really got mad was when you had deleted all of our posts together on your Instagram. I was like,
yeah. Well,
I think that's when I unfollowed.
Okay, to me, when I did that, I felt like it was out of respect of like, let me not try to floss and have like, you know, Monét X Change, the person in public on my Instagram. If our relationship, you know, if me and Kevin's relationship didn't work out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, completely understandable. I felt like
my own. Yeah. Well, that's understandable too. But I was kind of just like, oh, like, that's not right of me. Yeah. Not to be like, I don't know, having that evidence. Yeah. I archived it, by the way.
Oh.
Didn't delete.
Archived.
For my own viewing. Just put it away. Yeah.
And like since then, and I don't remember how we reconnected.
So Yeah. How did we reconnect?
I don't remember.
Well, I feel like there was some just like conversation back and forth of like, you know, I don't know, could or couldn't or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're trying to figure it out,
space. Which I had been through that before and realized that it's like, it's just better to have it's the most respectful, loving thing, I think, to just say, okay, that's it. And then I felt like I was like very still aware of your schedule, whatever. Also, you're on TV every single week after this.
My God.
I'm watching the show. I'm like,
how is that? Oh God, yeah, tell me about that.
It was crazy. It was crazy. The craziest time of my life was in the fallout where I'm like, every week I'm wanting to reach out and be like, oh my God, you did amazing or this or that. And like, I feel like we did talk through the season airing.
I don't remember.
But it wasn't like, I mean, maybe it was just me being like, oh my God, like you're killing it. You know, maybe that's part of what created the rapport of like, you know, being friendly. But I feel like, yeah, you were definitely like, don't talk to me, which was so understandable. Honestly, I was really trying to be like, you're doing great.
No, but I think that kind of like to speak to where we are now, I think that was a level of maturity that I was trying to get to. I think I generally, I mean, I want to say how I handle it is immature because you process things how you do.
Not at all.
But I think it is a way that I would hope if I was to break up with anyone ever, hopefully again, maybe we're locked in, whatever. But if I was to, God forbid, go through a breakup again, I would hope I would handle myself more so in that way as opposed to being like, this mother, you know what I mean? And being so like, and angry about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's a great way to handle that.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel that way and that you aren't like, yeah, and you just kept annoyingly like sending me messages. No, I feel like we then had a long period of like not talking, and then it was like a follow back, like, hey, I hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I am doing good. Like, hope you're doing good. Might have even been like around COVID.
Yeah, I think COVID was
when it was like, okay, life is crazy. Like, let's just say hi.
I think so. I think COVID was a thing.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to LA, you like did hair for me.
Yeah.
Which was great. I wore it for I don't know, which is whatever you did to them curls. Those curls lasted like 2 shows.
It was a little
on human hair.
Yeah.
You know?
I was curling that wig like my life depended on it. I was like, you better curl this good, otherwise you're never gonna hear from Kevin again, girl.
No, it's good. It worked out really well.
Good.
I forget what show I wore it to. Oh my God, this little tidbit I forgot to talk about earlier. I remember because at this point, Patty does all my social media, so he saw the thing, and then so the night that we were supposed to meet up, you and Patty hooked up.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
oh, brother.
So when we started dating.
The messiness of that. The messiness of that of like, okay, so this is all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's make it so clear.
Yes, this is all the way back to
you and I met.
You and I had met.
You and I met. You're Maya Angelou. You're in the wig.
Yes.
We meet. We talk outside. I message you and don't hear from you.
Yes.
And so I thought, okay, well, that's like a fluke. Like, all right, let me go on Grindr. Like, I'm still, looking for whatever. Uh-huh. And the next morning, I see Patty on Grindr. hope he doesn't mind us talking about this.
Girl, check out OnlyFans. I'm sure you'll find her.
And we hooked up.
Got it.
That morning. And then hours later, I get a message from you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. What did I do? Like, what did I do? And I feel like I didn't want to immediately be like, well, I hooked up with your assistant.
Yeah. Which you did tell me at some point. Like, you told me early on.
So you came, the first time you came to Sacramento, before you went away to film, we sat down at the bar pretty much immediately. And I was like, I have something to tell you. It feels really weird. Me and Patty hooked up.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. But little did you know, Patty had already told me.
Okay, amazing.
Did I say that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Patty had already told me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. That's good. Well, that's a good judge of character, that I'm like, okay, let me tell you in person.
It was.
This is also part of the breakup scenario, I feel like, is talking about things in person. To me, in a long distance relationship felt like very important.
Oh yeah, totally.
Talking about Patty in person felt important.
Yeah.
Talking about our connection in person felt important. Like, I'm not going to do the Sex in the City. I'm sorry, I can't Don't hate me.
Don't hate me. Then post it.
Please. Let's not do all that.
So I am so grateful for our relationship. I think that it taught me so much about how I want to be loved, how I receive love, how I would like to give love. There are no regrets that I have about our relationship, and I'm happy that we're both able to come out on this side of it and not being like some toxic thing that we both hate each other. It's something that's like
me too.
Gross, you know what I mean? I genuinely do feel that way.
I'll say, I mean, our relationship scored one of the most traumatic parts of my life, which was getting hit by a car. And you were such a beautiful part of like that time for me, and like honestly, truly heaven sent. And I feel like it also taught me a lot. You taught me something really super, super valuable, which was like to be honest with yourself, like at all times, and bring that to the table of relationships, which is something that I think through the process of us being together, I really learned was like moving forward. Like if you're feeling a feeling, don't wait. Yeah. Like share that feeling right away and let someone in on that, regardless of like how much you love them or how much you want to be with them. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that was a big takeaway that I got in our breakup. Yeah. In the aftermath of that. Yeah. You know, do you remember saying that where you're like, you need to be honest with yourself?
Did I say that?
Because I was like, I feel like I was, you know, I don't want you to ever feel like I was dishonest with you. And you're like, well, I don't think you were. I just think you weren't honest with yourself. You laid some wisdom on me. It was good.
Yes, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, and now you. So now we both find ourselves in these 11 relationships.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years. I'm 3. Mm-hmm. We just became made 3 years in September.
Nice.
September 4th.
Yeah, we just celebrated. Oh my God! Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Very close. We just celebrated 4 years, August 17th.
Work.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
And I feel like, yeah, I mean, every relationship that you have, I think, prepares you for the next.
So,
and I'm grateful for what we learned together, preparing me for this one.
Totally.
Because, yeah, I mean, hey, do you feel like that's been like applied to your connection?
For sure. I think so 100%, you know, and especially because of the crazy life that I live with like traveling or whatever. And I think that a lot of the things that I was feeling, you know, during our time together are mistakes that I'm trying to not do again in the future. And like being more conscious about how that feels for the other person, right?
Yeah.
You know, and knowing, or now talking, and even now realizing some light bulb moments for me about how that was feeling for you that I wasn't even aware of and conscious of.
Yeah.
Trying to not do that again and just being better about it and going,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think we did our best.
We did.
Yeah.
We had a time.
Yeah, we had a time.
We had a really good time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So emotional. So sweet.
The tears. Yo, we are not joking. The tears were plentiful. The tears were out of control.
Yeah, definitely.
I
feel like that's what we had most in common was like music and being so emotional. When everything about our lives were so different, it was like, okay, we feel it. We feel it all.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Robert, this has been such a lovely episode. I can't believe that you even took me up on coming to do this. Did you have any reservations?
Oh my God, of course.
Really?
I mean, I was like, I just heard about it immediately and was like, okay, very nervous, but then very quickly said yes, because I'm just like, I think that's what you should do. I feel like what we had was sweet to be talked about, you know? Yeah. So my reservation was like, I've not really like used my voice on the internet or like been recorded or whatever. And it's just like, you know, get over it.
And you come from a drag family. Johnny, your drag family,
Johnny Reinhardt.
Right? Reinhardt.
Yeah, definitely. Just like my best friend of so many years who does drag here in LA.
Yeah.
You know, I used to, but haven't for years. So I can hardly say that I come from that, you know.
But you're a great makeup artist.
Well, thank you.
You're really good at makeup.
Thank you.
Really, tell people where they can, if they want to get some hair services, if you even want to. So I don't know, you can tell them where you can find you to do some hair or something.
Okay, I'm Robert Harter on Instagram. You can just look up Robert Harter.
Yeah.
Harter. And yeah, I'm just at a little shop in Atwater Village and, you know, taking clients.
Work. Yeah. I might come get something done.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do?
Fresh shave.
I want to do a full install.
Ooh.
And live my life with a full bust down install. But I'm like,
absolutely.
The girls that do the glue thing, I'm like,
What's his name? Dylan, who does the full wigs on Instagram. He just like has so many different, he's so good.
Yeah, I'm like, I've lived so long without any hair.
I know.
I can't.
Yeah, it's just same here. Yeah, I can't either. I can't try.
Robert, thank you for coming on the show. This was very lovely.
This has been lovely.
It really has.
Thank
it really
you for
has.
having me.
And thank y'all for listening to this episode. If you have an ex out there, girl, you don't have to be enemies. Y'all don't have to be, talk to your ex.
Yeah.
And maybe spin the block. If you have one that you want to spin the block with, you can do that too. But I'm trying, especially now in my mid-30s, I'm trying to like have good energy and clean karma and vibes going out and coming back at me. Like that's what I want from me. I want clean energy coming and going.
Same.
And having no weird tensions or animosities with people.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that.
Give me a hug, darling.
Oh, thank you.
So great.
So great.
And I'll see y'all for next episode. Peace.
Monét Talks.